This year, we want an Ukrainian face. A face of a young, beautiful, strong, but tender girl like her.
The tender ones will triumph. Cinematography was great in this. It was a little odd to have the cell phone insertion in there at the beginning, but you quickly get on board with that and it becomes less jarring as the film goes on. I loved what they did with kind of the practical effects, having her walking forward and the rest of the people on the street that were walking backward. I thought that that was really clever and really impactful. The story on this was so good, and the message was very, very well received. It was well told without being kind of like hitting you over the head. So good job.
I really like the tender ones will survive, or the tender ones will triumph. The tender ones will triumph. I thought made some great points about like okay, like the less seen, the not social media friendly costs of war, like the idea, like I like the juxtaposition, like okay, like when he was saying like there's more than one way to fight a war, this is how you fight, and he's like taking pictures of her, but then it flashes to like humanity, like the human costs, you know, and the juxtaposition of that saying something deeper. I thought that was really well done and clever, and I like the juxtaposition of all of that with the idea of like okay, there are people outside judging her for just taking pictures or whatever, but they think it's just taking pictures as idea of like things are deeper than what you just see on social media, you know. All of that was great and really clever, really well done. So great job.
The actress in this film is what really stood out to me. Her performance was phenomenal. You could see it through her eyes. She had such a haunted look in her eyes where you could see the trauma through it. You could tell what her past was. It's almost like she came from a war zone. So I wonder if they actually casted somebody who was from Ukraine, who was from a war zone herself, where she had seen it firsthand. Because that haunted look in her eyes was just award-winning, where you could tell that something horrific had happened. You could tell that she came from such a haunting past. You could feel it in her words, her performance. You could tell that something bad was coming, and it was her brother's death. There's no way you can prepare for that. The going back and forth in black and white to color really strikes the emotions in this. It really shows the harsh reality of war, and it really touches this woman's tender soul to the point where she's doing her best to continue surviving, to earn a living, while deep down she just wants to crumble because her family is so far away in such a horrible zone. Her brother literally loses his life. It's just such a horrific environment while she gets to live in peace and continue her day-to-day wondering what news she's going to get.
The Tender Ones Will Triumph definitely dissects the Russian-Ukraine conflict in a way that is modern. We get to see these types of conflicts live streamed and through receiving information through different influencers that we look up to. And so when we see this model as we go through her journey, we are finding these elements of things that she is faced with. I really like how the filmmakers chose to go about things that we see every day. This act of doom scrolling, this glorification of beauty, this obsession of parasocial relationships. And we see this struggle, this true struggle of humanity that exists within our main character when we find that someone, her brother, has been lost to this conflict. You feel that despair with her as she falls to the ground and crumbles, yet she has this power within her voice and her platform to say something and to do something different. And so we get to have these moments of these realizations that our voices are powerful. And, sometimes we have to find these stories that we're passionate about. And oftentimes that comes from lived experience. And we hope that we can live in a world where we don't have to have that lived experience in order to feel that pain. But here we can have an opportunity of someone sharing their story to be preventative for someone else. And I think this film does a really good job of executing these different elements of what's going on in today's modern era in a way that's digestible and relatable, and something that we do see on a day-to-day basis when it comes to these world conflicts.